Hey now, what's happening, people? What's going on? Yeah, it's been a minute. I took last Wednesday and last Friday off. Um, wasn't feeling too good, so I figured I'm not gonna come down here and bother nobody, and I'm feeling like crap. So I did not have the opportunity to come down and hang out with you guys and say hi and all that other good stuff that goes on when we all get together. But you know what? I'm feeling a lot better, man. Last week was not a good week at all, man. I was drained. Felt like I was drained. Just to get up to go to the bathroom was unbelievable. And then we had where my wife is at now. Matter of fact, I right before I went to the balloon release, I ended up taking my wife to the airport, and she's going down to San Antonio, Texas. I'll be posting some things on that, but my wife's nephew, on Saturday morning at 9:00, they took him off life support. And he lived until Sunday morning at 12:05. 12:05, he took his last breath. And so my wife is going down to Texas. Like I said, I literally just dropped her off at the airport. So she's going down to Texas, and they're going to have a funeral for her nephew, her brother's youngest son, Jason, passed away. So we had that happen this week. My wife is a consultant. Well, she works in HR, and they were having at Elsie's Bowl, Elsie's Restaurant, Bar and Grill, whatever you want to call it, in Northeast Minneapolis. And I'm going to post when I get the video so you all can see. You can see the whole thing going down. But some of the Kia boys ended up noticing a red Kia that they wanted to get. Well, here's the thing about that Kia. It was set up for a handicapped driver, meaning all of the brakes and the gas and everything is on the steering wheel. All right. Hey, what's happening, Vic? What's going on with you, man? But the brakes for this vehicle, it like I said, it was parked in a handicapped spot for a reason. So the video will show the Kia boys come driving in. So they were in a Kia. They must stole a Kia from somewhere else. And they was driving around probably looking for another Kia to trade out of and to leave this one somewhere so they can keep driving around. Well, what they did not realize is, like, again, this particular vehicle was parked in the handicapped spot for a reason, because it was for a man that was in a wheelchair that cannot use his legs. But he can drive and he can control everything from these pedals, these whatever you call them on the steering wheel. So in the video, you can see the Kia boys come driving up, They checked this vehicle out, and they were in this vehicle so fast, you would think this guy had left his doors unlocked. You're watching the video, and you go, how in the world did they get into this car that dang on fast? Because if you lock your doors, your alarm, if they was to break in it, I would think your alarm would go off quick and the whole nine. They were literally standing there by this vehicle for some time. It's on the video. I've seen the video. And as soon, like I said, as soon as I get it, I'm going to put it out so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But they ended up, one of the Kia boys jumps in this car, and that's another thing. How quickly they got this vehicle started. It was so, I mean, this whole thing, from the time that they got there, and they were just walking around, just checking the place out to see when, it was 40 seconds. It was just unbelievable how quick they got into this vehicle, how quick they got this vehicle started. But here's the problem with this whole thing that just blew my mind, pissed me off. So when he said practice makes perfect, they are good, man. They are damn good. They are, I'm talking like, literally, you would think they had the keys to get in, to start this thing, and to take off. That's how good they are. So they get in, he gets in the car, you see him get in the car, he backs this thing up, and you can tell that he can't control the vehicle. He runs, that's the pictures that I put out, he runs into my wife's car. And I'm sitting there going, this is really this is like unbelievable that this is happening right now. With everything else we had going on. Like I said, with my on Monday is when we got the call that Joseph was being rushed to the hospital. Tuesday is when they ran into the Kia boys, stole that vehicle, and then backed into my wife's car. I mean, to the point to where you can't open up the driver's door. We can't open up the driver's side passenger door, and all of the molding on the side is gone. Tore it all off. Bam. Put a big hole in the door. So that whole 2 doors have to be replaced. They have to do some body work on the back end and replace everything else. And then the hood, it hit so hard in the back that it actually shifted the hood. The hood is shifted. But I'll show you. Like I said, I will be dropping that video so you all can see exactly what I'm talking about. So you can see what happened. But that happened, and I'm sitting there going, it's just unbelievable. It is unbelievable that all this stuff happened like this. And but yeah, Vic, you well, like I said, as soon as I get this video, I'm going to put it out. But like I said, how quick they were able to get into this vehicle, how quick they were able to. Well, here's the other thing, Vic. When it talking about insurance, so our insurance, which is State Farm. When my wife called them, our insurance told us to make sure that we get all of the insurance information from the guy's car who backed into her car. So they were thinking, our insurance was thinking, that he said, Liberty, Minnesota, a little late and catching up, but I wanted to say how sorry I am for your family's loss. I've been keeping you in my thoughts. I appreciate it. Prayer day. Yeah, man. So the saddest part about this whole thing is we haven't. Well, I guess now that it's over with, I can just tell everybody exactly what happened. He shot himself in the head. He shot himself in the head. The round went in this side and out this side. And by the time he got to the hospital, his brain had enlarged. They had to cut off his skull. And so they knew that he was not, more than likely, wasn't going to make it. So they put him on, they did some type of surgery. They put him on life support. And so the family had to make a decision of what they wanted to do. So the decision was to pull the plug. So Saturday morning at 9 a.m., and we all knew what was going on, what they were going to do. The family came down, the grandmother came down and made the decision. And the sad part about this whole situation is Joe's mother died of COVID. Okay, my wife's brother's wife died of COVID and diabetes complications. Okay, and then his grandfather mysteriously passed away last year. And then Joe did what he did. So they pulled the plug on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Joe, and they didn't think he was going to be able to breathe on his own. So they pulled the plug and Joe started breathing on his own. And so that shocked everybody when he started breathing on his own. So now, if he was to breathe on his own for an hour and 20 minutes, then they would have to just let him, put him in a room, basically, and let him expire on his own. And that's what happened. So they pulled the plug Saturday morning at 12:02, 12:03, somewhere like that. Joe took his last breath. So we knew that more than likely my wife would have to go down to San Antonio to be with her brother and to go through what the family is going through now. So yeah, man, I so appreciate y'all throwing some prayers to the family. And like I said, with all of that going on, like I said, it's just been a crazy week, man. So with all of that going on, boom, the Kia boys steal a Kia out of the parking lot of Elsie's Bowl, runs into my wife's car, tears up the driver's side of it. Like I said, I posted the pictures. So Big Vic, my insurance company says to us to get all the information, told my wife, get all the information from the guy's vehicle who hit my wife's vehicle. We get that information. We called them. They called my wife back this morning and said that they will not cover my vehicle because it was a stolen car. So, therefore, I've got to come out of my pocket. I've got to pay the deductible to my insurance company for them to cover fixing this vehicle. All because the leaders uninsured motorist coverage. What's that? I don't know what that is, Vic. I just know my insurance told us today that I have to take it in and get an estimate, and then I've got to give them the estimate. I got to, send the estimate into them. And then, so I don't know if my insurance is going to go after his insurance company or what the deal is. But I know I've got to pay out of my pocket to get my car fixed, because the leaders in Minneapolis literally let these people drive around and steal vehicles. There is no urgency to stop these people. There isn't. There is no want really to really clamp down and say, if you steal a vehicle, okay, we're going to put you in jail for a long time. These kids know that they can go out and steal these vehicles, and they know that Minneapolis is not going to do anything. They're not. They're just not going to do anything. And the bad part about it is these numbnuts in Minneapolis, the people in Minneapolis, the very ones. Now, hold on. If that was ICE doing, you see the fit they threw? But these kids can run around Minneapolis and steal and shoot and kill. And you don't hear a damn thing from the leadership. But you let ICE come in here. Hold on. Let me back up, because I'll be the first one also to say that if ICE had to come in here and done their job and what they were supposed to be doing, we wouldn't be where we're at today. But that's a different story for a different day. But what I'm saying is, if these people got upset the way that they do about ICE with these kids and what they're doing and how things are going with it, if these same people got pissed off enough maybe something different would happen. Maybe taxpayers like myself wouldn't have to come out of their pockets to pay for what the leadership in Minnesota we wouldn't have to do that. But because we don't have leadership on the Democrat side, and we don't have leadership on the Republican side. Let's just call it what it is. There is no leadership here, people. None. And there isn't going to be any leadership here in Minnesota for a long time. And that's the sad part about this whole thing. That the taxpayers, what really is the sad part about it is there are taxpayers in Minneapolis that is okay with what is going on right now. They're okay with this. They're not bitching about it. They won't say nothing about it. They just let it go. Like this is normal. They act like this stuff is normal. We're used to living this way. And you sit there and go, "Oh my God, are you kidding me? Are you serious?" But all the cars that have been stolen in Minneapolis, you would think that Mayor Fry, you would think that Tim Walz, you would think that Ilhan Omar, you would think that Bobby Champion, you would think that anybody in the Senate, you would think that the Jason Chavez and all of Robin Wormsley, all of them people on the Senate, you would think that they would make this a priority. This is important. People get hurt. People die. They don't care, man. They don't give a damn. They don't care. They just, this dude, okay, so the Democrats right now, right? So watch this here. So the Democrats are on their gun violence. They don't really, they see it's as a political stunt that they could use. And most of the white women, right? They're upset because they're scared that their babies are getting shot and killed in school. Just like the church that just happened. Their fight is to make sure that their babies don't get murdered in school. So that's why you see when the Democrats write these bills, they're not writing the bills for the black community. Because they number one, they know the black community, half of people in the black community don't really know politics. That's a fact. The only thing they know is Democrats. That's it. Black people, yeah, look. I can say this because I've gotten black people to sit down and I ask them questions about politics and they look at me like I'm crazy. But y'all don't really understand is black people really don't know much about politics. We don't. Period. We don't study politics. Politics isn't studied. Half of black people don't even know what goes on at the Capitol. They have no clue. Zero clue what goes on. They don't know about bills. They don't know how bills get made. They don't know about legislation. They don't know about lobbyists. They don't know none of that crap. None of it. The average black person in the hood could not tell you a damn thing about politics. Only thing they know is Democrats. That's it. Those are facts. Get mad at me if you want. We don't go and make sure that bills are being done correctly. We don't go make sure that we can get some type of legislation for the black community. We don't go and make sure that these school boards and things are teaching our kids how to read. We don't do that. We don't go and make sure and fight and really fight to get anything done about the what goes on. We bitch. That's what we do. We are good boy. We can bitch like no other. That's what we do. We bitch and we march. That's all we do. We don't march to the Capitol to demand our rights, to demand anything. We go in the streets. We go tear shit up. We go loot and take stuff that don't belong to us. That's what we do. That's what we do. You would think after seeing the power that we had with Derek Chauvin riots, when Derek Chauvin did what he did, and we had the riots and all that there, you would think the power that we saw, that we would harness that, and we would come together as a people, and we would make things happen. We would see the harm that these open air drug deals, these drug areas, that they just let go. Literally, they just let them go. We would see the harm that is having on our black youth selling drugs and then shooting each other. We would see that. But no, man. No. It's not how it works. These kids are out here causing havoc, literally havoc in the community. And the thing about it is a lot of people know who these kids are. Yes, they do. They know exactly who these kids are. Nobody want to say anything. We know the bad kids in the community. We just sit back and go, well, he's going to be in jail soon enough. Well, the problem is him being, when we say he's going to be in jail sooner, it's not soon enough because he's out here wreaking havoc on the community. He's out here tearing stuff up. He's out here committing more crime than ever. And only thing the system wants to do is give him points for every time he screws up, every time he messes up, every time he tears something up. He gets points. These kids are smart enough to know by now how far they can go before something happens to them. Two years ago, 2.5 years ago, I bugged the Democrats and I bugged the Republicans Party to help me open up a place. We used to have this place called Totem Town in St. Paul. And Totem Town was a place for bad kids. For kids that mom and dad says, we don't want them no more. The state can have them. That's what Totem Town was. They end up closing Totem Town. And now there's really no place for these bad kids. For these kids that's running around here doing all sorts of there's no place for them because they closed Totem Town. I went out and tried to bug everybody, any radio station that put a mic in front of my mouth. I was saying, we need Totem Town. I need Totem Town open. I need it open right now. Nobody listened. See, Totem Town don't make as much money as these kids running around here being little assholes. Don't make enough money. They don't make money like that. These nonprofits that calls themselves doing things in the community, if we open Totem Town, that would shut those nonprofits down. As much money as we put into these nonprofits, we could have a Totem Town. We could have a place to send these kids. And they need a place. We need a place to send these kids. Really bad. But because the Democrats don't want to be called racist, don't want to seem like they're racist, they would rather sit back and watch these kids die in the middle of the street than open up some place, some facility, some help for these kids. That's a fact. And our kids shoot and kill each other all the time. And the minute somebody says something about it, oh, you can't be talking about the community like, really? No, I'm talking about what I know. I was just at a balloon release, literally, where I was at tonight. That's where I was at tonight. Boy, if I knew the balloons, black people, we were going to start doing this here, I would have invested in a balloon company. Because we have made these balloon companies with all these balloon releases we have, with everybody dying, and every time we die, we have to do memorials and things of that sort, and then we have to get with all of these balloon releases, man, boy, I should have opened up. That's what I should have done. I should have opened up a balloon store right there in North Minneapolis. You need balloons for every time a black person die? I'll be a rich man right now. I'll be rich right now. If I was the only place black folks was come to, just like funeral homes. No, that's what keep funeral homes open in the black community. If it wasn't for all the black deaths, we probably wouldn't have funeral homes. But because of all the black deaths, these funeral homes are raking in the dough. Just raking in the dough. So we have a situation where this dude gets out of prison, gets out of jail, post bond. Number one, because he was already in jail before from some things he did, and he wasn't supposed to have a firearm. If the Democrats are really, really serious about, the gun violence, then every time somebody is caught with a firearm that shouldn't have a firearm, and they're not going after the firearm, they down parcher. See ya. No, we're not doing anything. So he had a firearm. We'll just list that he had a firearm. No. He needs to go to jail for that firearm also. If you're gonna let him out because of this crime, and he's also got a firearm crime, put him back in there for the firearm crime. But that's not what they do. That's why I say they're not serious about this when they talk about gun violence. They're not serious about this at all. Not when you matter of fact, there's another dude. There's another thing that happened here. This guy got out. He got out. He carjacked someone with a gun. They let him out. While he was out, he committed another murder. But the gun charge from that carjacking never charged him anything on that. If you look at over half of what goes on in the black community, it has something to do with a gun. If you look at over half of the charges, the gun part is isnate. They don't do anything with it. So what? You had an AK-47. And that's what you use to shoot something up. But you took the cops on a high-speed chase. You know what they're going to get you for? Taking the cops on a high-speed chase. But the gun charge that you shot up a whole bowling alley, especially if you didn't kill nobody, that to me, that's a domestic terrorist. They just let you go. See ya. That's the Democrats. And that very person who shot up the bowling alley, you let him go all because, he took the cops on a high-speed chase, but that's okay. That high-speed chase, we can let you go on that. But what about the guns? What about what happened with the guns? What about the gun violence? Nothing. Nothing. You're free as a jaybird. But yet, they can get up there at that Capitol and swear up and down, we need a bill to stop this gun violence. Really? Well, how about we start using what's on the books right now? Somebody shoot up something with a gun, guess what? They go to jail for a long, long, long time. I'm talking a long time. There is no, hold on. There is no 5 years. You go into some place or you put a gun in somebody's face and you're telling them to get out of the car and you take that car, that tells me you cannot be part of this society. You don't know how. So people like you should be gone for a long time. There's no reason for rehab because you can't be rehabbed. When you get to that point to where you're going to put a gun, this guy just killed somebody for a Louis Vuitton bag or purse. Just killed him. It killed him for it. You can never, ever come out. Ever. You have to die in jail. Bye-bye. You will never know what it's like to drive a car. You will never know what it's like to walk on a sidewalk, to walk free, ever. You gave that up. When you can kill somebody for a Louis Vuitton purse or bag or whatever he killed that person for, you don't have a right to be part of society. You just don't. Period, point blank. But we as a community, we as black folks, we're not going up there to the Capitol saying, hey, this dude was brought, what his gun charges. I want to know why his gun charges was dropped. We're not up there doing that. We're not asking them to go after how these kids are getting their hands on guns. How is a 13-year-old boy walking around with a 9mm with a switch on the back of it? How? How does that work? Who made that happen? We as black people are not chasing that. We're not going after that. We're not trying to figure out how that works. We're not worried about that in our community at all. We in the black community, we know, just like everybody else in the community, knows about the open air drug areas. We're not up there going, hey, Mayor, 100 of us are not up at City Hall going, enough is enough, Mayor. You need to get this taken care of right now. I don't care what resources you have. We can't have this no more. We're not doing that. We don't have anybody lobbying on our behalf because we don't understand how or who or when. We don't get that. And it's not as if we're in any rush to be part of the political, honestly part of the political spectrum. Because if we was, we wouldn't be Democrats. If we were, as black folks, said to ourselves, let's seriously get into politics. Let's seriously get into what's going on in this politicking world. We wouldn't be Democrats. We would be independent. We would come together as a collective group of people going, if you want our votes, this is what has to happen. We wouldn't be Democrats. We wouldn't be Republicans. We would be independents. But because we don't understand politics, we don't get it. We really don't. The little bit we do know, a few people know a little bit about it. So they can act like, and they can use the big words, and they can talk all politicky like. But the bottom line, when it all boils down to it, you don't see black folks at the Capitol for nothing. They look. There's a day, but I forgot what it's called. But there's a day all black folks come up to meet their representatives and all that. They canceled it. But then they turn around and said that, oh, we're going to have this anti-gun thing that's going on. We're going to have all of this other stuff that goes on. But you know why they cancel it? Because black people don't show up. That's really why they cancel it. Black people ain't showing up for nothing like that. They don't show up for anything else. They don't show up for their health. They don't. Those are facts. You can get mad at me if you want. Get upset if you want. But when I'm standing outside of a house and all of these kids come walking up. I mean, it was kids like you wouldn't believe that was there tonight. And I'm looking at these kids going, man, we as black people have not given these kids any hope at all. We don't fight for nothing. We don't do anything. We fight each other. They had the Minneapolis City Council dangled $300,000 in black folks' face. And we fought each other tooth and nail for them little bitty scraps that they threw at us. Black folks, $300,000. It's what they put out there for black folks to fight over. And that's what we did. That's a true story. But $1 billion went to this other group that they found a way to scam. They got number two guy now with the autism lie. Dude went into the community, and here's where people get pissed at me when I start telling the truth. But I'm only telling what's been reported. This dude goes into the community, get these parents to tell a lie about their kids. They kick back money. So when people sit there and lie and try to act like it wasn't the damn community, use a damn lie. Everybody in that damn community is guilty because everybody in that community was getting kickbacks, was getting money when they was lying on their kids, talking about their kids was autistic. They were lying on their kids when they was talking about their kids were the ones that was being fed. They were lying on their kids when they were sitting there going, these are the kids that we was driving to the hospital and the old people we was driving to the hospital. There's enough that was going on in that damn community that almost everybody understood the message. Don't sit there and try to make me believe that people in the community did not know. It's a damn lie. You stole from the people of Minnesota. Not only that, but the thing that really pisses me off, knowing that they moved these people here. Now, the HCMC is about to close. Now, you say, well, why is that important to you, Rev? Oh, it's very, very important to me. Because when I was first diagnosed with my kidney disease, and then when I went on dialysis, then after I got off dialysis, I had to go to Abbott. So Abbott had a kidney transplant facility there. That's where I went the first time because my kidney doctor, was a doctor also at Abbott, and he knew all these other doctors. So I followed him over to Abbott. Right? Then we get to Abbott, and a year later, Abbott's like, well, we're going to close down some programs. One of the programs they closed down was their kidney transplant unit. After I'd been on the list for a whole year. So now I get dropped off the list because everybody's moving over to HCMC. Okay, I don't have a choice. So, because they're in network. So, people who don't understand that. So, I ended up moving from Abbott, being off of the kidney transplant list for 9 months. I had to go through all the testing, all of this crap we had to go through, spend a whole day at HCMC, meeting all these doctors, getting poked on, giving blood. I had to go through all of this stuff in order to get on the transplant list at HCMC. So I said, okay, I didn't think about it. I'm good. I finally got me on HCMC. Then they go, well, we may end up closing down. Well, here's the problem with that. And what I want people to understand, because I had to put that out there, and people go, oh, Rev, you can just go here. No, that's not how this works. If I go to U of M, I've got to make sure that the doctors that I go over there with, my insurance is going to pay them. That everything is in network. The problem with U of M, a lot of those doctors are not in network. A lot of those doctors are freelancers. They like to get their money like stacks. These doctors like stacks of money versus being in network where their money isn't, they get money, but they don't get it all at once. You understand what I'm saying? So then they said, well, if you can't go there, you should go down to Mayo. Go to Mayo. Y'all don't realize Mayo is the top of, Mayo is like being a president. So if I go to Mayo, which I have to go see my doctor once a month. If I go to Mayo, I've got to drive all the way down to Rochester. Then I would have to stay in a room. So the next morning, boom, I can be ready to go at 8 o'clock to do that. So I have to do that all the time. Not only that, but again, I don't know if my insurance is going to cover a large part of the things that go on. Like I told you, for me to be on dialysis, the peritoneal that I'm on, it costs a month. 1 month of me getting my treatment, plugging up at night, doing what I do, just for the peritoneal. For the deliveries, for the delivery of the everything, for the use of the machine, for the use of them sending in information and all of that stuff, $103,000 every month is what it costs me to use that machine. I am $1 million plus a year. $1 million plus a year is what it costs me to stay alive. That's a fact. That's the number. And out of that $1 million plus a year, my insurance pays a large part. It went up. It went when Trump started screwing up, and he did, because I can show you the bill. So when y'all talking about what he done, y'all can kiss my ass. That man cost me a lot of damn money when it comes to insurance. What they have done, y'all. I don't think some of y'all even y'all. Some of y'all are like black folks when it comes to knowing and understanding these bills. When you're deep into this stuff, healthcare, I've got to know who and who I can deal with and who I can't deal with. Just like when I go in for my diabetic, because I am diabetic and I've got this thing on my arm that does my numbers in my phone, right? When Abbott dropped, I ended up having to go look for and to find a diabetic doctor. That diabetic doctor had to be in network. I couldn't get any doctor. That same thing with because right now I would show you, but you guys just go, Rev, that's gross. But I literally have a tube in my stomach. I've got a tube. And that tube hooks up to this machine. Well, in order to get that tube in my stomach, I had to find my own doctor to put this tube in because my insurance company would only pay for somebody in network. And I hope people are understanding what I'm talking about. I'm sure there's somebody out there who has got a medical condition who understands that I can't just go anywhere. A lot of people think, oh, he can just go there. No, I can't. I can't just go anywhere. I can, but it's going to cost me money. I can, but I will have a GoFundMe up here going, can you please help me? Because I cannot afford. This is what's going on. Not only that, but and what y'all also don't understand is anytime Trump withholds money from what he's doing right now, which is scaring the crap out of me, especially Medicaid and Medicare and all that stuff, when he starts messing with that screws with me, right? That messes me up. I'm going through. So when y'all running around here talking about making America great again, let me explain something to you. It ain't been great. Y'all ain't making a damn thing great. You're hurting people like myself. You're hurting people who sit next to me when I go to the dialysis center and I got these elderly people next to me who are afraid what Trump is doing to our healthcare system. That's the thing about what happens. If you have never hit your hand with a hammer, you can't tell me that if it hurt, that it don't hurt. You can't. If you're not in this healthcare system right now and you're not really needing the healthcare system, you would have no clue. You can go on about your life and act like nothing has ever happened to you. Everything is good because you're up here. But for people like myself and thousands of other people who sit in that damn forensic dialysis place and I sit and talk to them and they're afraid of what's going on. They're afraid that they won't be getting their next delivery. They're afraid that they won't be getting their insulin and everything else. Y'all don't get it. You don't get it. You don't get it. You can run around here and love a party all you want to. You can love a party all you want to. But what I'm telling you is, like I said before, these parties don't really give a damn about you. They don't. Because if they cared about you, think about it for a second. If they cared about you, wouldn't you think they would care about people who are going through it, people who are having problems, people who are sick, people who are poor, people? If these parties really, really cared about us, you would think that's what they would be doing, but they don't. I'm telling you right now, I deal with a lot of people. What I say, I can say it because I deal with a lot of different people. Every single day. There isn't a day that I don't hear about somebody's going through a struggle. And you know what can help those people? The very government you guys vote on. The very government who lies to you and say, I'm going to work for you. There is nobody. You know another thing I'm getting tired of? I'm getting tired of this lie of this bonehead running around here calling himself an outsider. Trust me when I say this. There is nobody in the race for governor. There is nobody in the race for Senate, for a representative, for anything. That is an outsider. Nobody. They're all connected with somebody, some way, somehow. Connected to the very people who are making these choices for us right now. And that's the problem. That's the problem why I keep trying to get you guys to understand. They are making the choices for us. We're not telling them what choices needs to be made for us. We are not. You know why we're not? Because they don't listen to us. They don't give a damn about us. They don't. There's not no one in office right here, right now, today. So Bobby Champion is upset right now. He's pretty pissed off at Tim Walz. Because in Tim Walz's fraud package, one of the things that Tim Walz decided to do was to cut off all of these nonprofits into the North Minneapolis. All these nonprofits was getting all this money and they was living off of this money. He cut their ass off. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. But Bobby Champion's upset about that right now. Because that affects the people in his district, in his area. Well, here's my thought. If Bobby Champion could easily call me up and say, Rev, I want to use your church because I want to talk to my people. And we can get everybody in there. Bobby Champion is big time in North Minneapolis. But I ain't seen no town hall Bobby Champion has had to call all the black folks to one area and we sit down and we talk about what we need and what things. I've not been to one. But all of a sudden, Tim Walz says, none of y'all, all you Negroes ain't getting no money. Oh, now Bobby's ready to write letters talking about, oh, this done this to my community, this done this here to my community. But when they're talking about gun bills and gun control and gun this and gun that, Bobby ain't never had no type of meeting, no type of town hall in North Minneapolis talking about this stuff. And black folks ain't pushing him to do it. But yet, this dude was able to get out of prison, get out of jail, find a gun, and then go kill family members. And a lot of this stuff that goes on affects everybody. And that's what people always sit here and act like, well, that don't affect me. The drug problems in the white community affects the black community. It does. Because guess what? They come to buy the drugs. Open air drug sales. Guess where they come? So that problem that y'all have in your community, and you do, opiates, fentanyl. You didn't hear him talk about getting all upset about fentanyl when it was just in the black community. It's when white folks start dropping like flies. Now we got to do something about fentanyl. And what do you usually? Where are they getting their fentanyl from? That's right. So your drug problem in your community affects the black community. Half the kids are killing each other for the best corners because of your drug problems. No, that really happens. So instead of us all getting together going, this is a us thing. This is an us thing. It really is an us thing. Because watch this here. So when all hell breaks loose in the black community and they start closing all the stores, all the places that black people go and shop and everything, what do they, when all of that closes down, where do them black folks go? What did Vic just send me? No, Vic. I've been. Thank you much. But my wife has been with the same. I don't know why, but I don't do the bills and stuff in my house, brother. But she does. But anyway, I'm gonna have to get in touch with this Nathaniel Olson. A young man that looked like he went to testify. I was looking at his testimony, and then I made a phone call, and yeah, they're not going to take this young man, this Nathaniel Olson. I made a phone call. They're not going to take this young man serious because they think he's a right winger. They think he's a right winger, and the more I look into his wanting to be on Fox News, and more I look into him here, because I went over his page. And I'm sure they probably looked at his page also, but they're not gonna take him serious because he seems like a right winger. It's what I basically was told. That's what I was pretty much was told. They thought it was just me. No, man, it's Twitter that's actually doing that. Liberty. Yeah. So yeah. I'm gonna have to tell everybody to start telling everybody to go to my YouTube, because I don't think my YouTube was dropping. If it was, let me know, and I will definitely see. But it can't be, like I said. I know it's not my Get Up, my Xfinity, because I've got the highest. I've got. That's another thing. Well, I'm not gonna bore you with that. But I've got the highest. I got like 2-3 gigs of the new Get Up. They call me. So my wife pays the bill, right? And she goes, I can't believe that our bill went from $60. So for 5 years I paid $60 for like 800 to a gig of whatever they call it. And then all of a sudden my wife goes to pay the bill and it's like $135. And we're sitting there going, what in the world? Called them up and they said, oh yeah, your promotion dropped out. They didn't even call me up and tell me anything. They just charged us for it. Well, come to find out, and I'm sitting there going, if I'm going to pay that much, what's the high? I want to know what the highest Get Up you got. So yeah, so I've got the highest Get Up Xfinity has on here. So I know it's not that. So it has to be, Twitter. Twitter's messing up. Instead of Elon tweeting everybody, he needs to fix it. He said it was, but it's a lot better now. Oh, okay, all right. I didn't do anything different, Mark. I didn't do anything different. Maybe Twitter was like, okay, let's stop messing with him. But yeah, I was yeah. I don't know if you guys know this kid. His name is Nathan. I was following him for a little bit to check him out to see what's going on, and then he testified again. And I made a phone call, and they was like, yeah, he's a right winger. So I can tell him right now that he's not going to get far. They'll let him testify all day long, but as long as he come off as like trying to be a Republican or act like a Republican, he can cancel it. He can cancel it. He can seriously cancel it. But anyway, hey, that's my thing. And I'm gonna stick with that. I was gonna go over a couple of things with you, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. The wife should be landing in. The wife should be landing between 8:30 and 9:45. They said so. I got to chat with her and see how things are going once she get down there in San Antonio, and we get that side taken care of, and then like I said, then I get my car fixed, and I should be good to go. But hey, I appreciate you guys like I always do. I thank you guys so much, so very much, so very much, so very much for hanging out with me for a little bit. Give me something to do. So she'll be gone. So I'll probably be here tomorrow too, because I'm not going to have anything to do until my grandkids come over on Friday. So I got my grandkids for the weekend. Just the boys. The little rat, my little granddaughter. I can't keep her right now because that one will just run you raggedy, crazy raggedy. But other than that, I think I'm good. Unless you guys got anything, I don't. I definitely appreciate again each and every one of you for coming and hanging out with me. Sorry for what was going on with the get up there, but like I said, I think I'm gonna blame it on Twitter because, like I said, I pay Xfinity now a lot of money to make sure that nothing happens on this end, so I can hang out and talk to you all. I paid them a lot of money. So if anytime somebody want to help out, I'll definitely appreciate. I'm gonna start. No, that's what I'm gonna do because the program that I use. I think that bill is coming up. That's like $372 for the whole year. So I'm starting. Well, I gotta wait to HC. I gotta see what happens with HCMC. If they go out of business, then I will be y'all. Man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I gotta figure it out. I gotta figure it out and figure it out fast. But anyway, fam, I'm gonna get off this thing. Like we always understand and realize and see that the God that we serve is an almighty good God. We don't always get everything we want, and things happen that we don't even understand. But God does what he does for a reason. And there's something to be taught through what he does. That's another thing we don't realize. That something that God does in your life is a teachable moment. And it's according to how you come out of it. It's according to how you see that moment that God gives you. I hope and pray that it's always, even when bad things happen, I hope and pray that it will always be something good for you. Again, even when you look at it in a bad light, in a bad situation, but I always realize God has always got the light on for you. No ifs, no ands, no buts about that. Like I said, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine no matter what. No matter what happens, no matter what goes down. But I'm out of here, fam. And you know what? And because I realize how good he is, because I realize what he has done for me, because I realize how he has set me apart from a lot of people that sometimes just ain't right, that makes me smile. And y'all know what we do with those smiles. We take them out and we smile at somebody, so somebody smile back at you. Y'all have a good night. We'll talk to you soon. Peace, fam, and I'm out.